Hello guys, and in today's YouTube video we're going to be going over the best Destiny 2 PvP subclasses in Season 18, and we're going to be doing it in a tier list format. So to start, I'm going to be putting in S tier, I'm going to be putting Night Stalker currently. For the time being, like right this very second, I think Night Stalker's base subclass is not really too crazy, but like if we're factoring in like everything, the exotics on Night Stalker are really what put it above the rest of the subclasses and what to me makes it S tier. And I think it's just absolutely S tier without a doubt. It is the most played subclass in trials typically, and just has had some really busted, very strong exotics consistently in its like lifespan, like insane exotics. And then moving on to another S tier, we're gonna go with Arc Titan. That's an easy pick right now. You literally have Attack Dog Storm Grenades, which are just absolutely insane, and it's once again just a super easy pick. Night Stalker is and also has some really good exotics like Peacekeepers, Dune Marchers, Peregrine Greaves. Like it is insane, like absolutely insane. And these two, in my opinion, are probably the two best. Like the meta right now, I think, is like you have either you have one Night Stalker and then probably two Arc Titans, or one Arc Titan, one Sentinel, one Night Stalker. Like hard meta, that is what you would want. And honestly, you probably shouldn't deviate from having either a Khepri's Hunter or, you know, an Arc Titan. Like I think a Hunter is almost essential. The wall hacks and being able to communicate with your team is just so incredibly strong, and those, in my opinion, are just like, these two are just absolutely S tier. And to move on to, I think, the last S tier option, I would say, of the Destiny 2 PvP sandbox in terms of the subclasses is going to be Sentinel Titan. And the reason that I would say Sentinel Titan is S tier is just it has a tier 5 super, one of the only two tier 5 supers in the entire game. It has an overshield, which can be very useful and can be honestly game changing. You're basically able to put down a deployable cover healing rift at any point in time. Gives you an extra 45 health that can be regenerated, and honestly an extra 45 health can go a long way in this meta, and just in any meta really. And as well, you're able to use Peregrine Greaves and all of the exotics you would normally be able to use on Titan anyway, so it's just got a lot of really good utility. Same goes with all of these. That is why these are the top 3 S tier subclasses in PvP right now. And I don't really think any of the other classes even deserve remotely to be put in the S tier, because it's just without a doubt just the absolute worst, in my opinion. Like all of the, or these are the absolute best rather, like over everything else. And from here on out, I'm going to like kind of mix it up here now. So I'm not going to do all A tier, all B, all C. I'm going to start, and we're going to put Solar Titan in D tier. Absolute worst. And why I think Solar Titan is really bad, and the only exotic that kind of carries it is like Loreley, and Loreley's been nerfed, and it's just not really a meta pick anymore, in my opinion. You really don't see a lot of people use that. And on to, let's see, we'll do Top Tree Dawn or Solar Warlock, and I would put that, I'd put that at A tier. It's not super great, and I honestly don't recommend ever using this. Like if you're trying to play hard meta and you really want to win games, I recommend staying in the S tier column for sure and not really straying too far out of that. Like assuming you're playing like the best of the best in PvP and you are trying your best to compete with said players, you know, you're going to want to stay in this S tier column and not stray too far out of it ever. You're going to want to stick to your exotics like Peregrine Greaves, you know, Doom Marchers, Peacekeepers, stuff like that. And then do Arc Warlock, and we're going to put that in C tier. Arc Warlock, I feel like the only thing that's good about it right now is the melee, but other than that, it's not super great. The Arc Souls are great too, because you can use the Arc Souls with like Stag. Like I love to put carries that I have that aren't really too great at the game. I love to put them on Arc Souls Stag, because I feel like they offer so much more to the team, especially when they're dying. They just help a lot more. So yeah, we're gonna put that in C tier. And for D tier, let's see, I don't know if we have any more D tiers. I feel like Solar Titan is potentially the only D tier, and it can be kind of good, but it's just, in terms of like people picking it, it's just not gonna happen. Like people are not picking Solar Titan. It's two supers, Burning Maul, and what is it? The Solar Hand? I can't even remember the two of them. I know one's Burning Maul, and then it's like a mallet or something. I don't remember exactly what it's called. They're just way too long cooldown. And then even if you do get them, they're just so underwhelming. So it's just, and the subclass is just, oh man, don't get me started with this. It definitely deserves the D tier treatment. We're going to move Golden Gun up. I would say Golden Gun is B tier because for the Solar Hunter subclass, I can't refer to these as like Golden Gun and stuff like that. But I would say Solar Hunter is B tier because I don't think it's better than Void. And I think if you're trying to play meta, there's never going to be anything better than Void. Void just has so many good exotics like Omnioculus, Falcons, Capri Sting, Babaton Forfeit even if you wanted to use that. And it's just not worth, in my opinion. You can use Blade Barrage, which is a tier 4 super, I believe, which could kind of be worth it. You know, if you're playing Golden Gun, it has a decent subclass too. The throwing knives can be pretty good. The healing grenades can be pretty good as well, which is, I think this is a solid B or A tier. I'm going to put it in B tier though. And then on to Stasis Titan, I would say, I don't know, man. Stasis Titan, I feel like I'd put that at C tier. This is something that can be utilized well, but ultimately is pretty bad. Like, I feel like Stasis Titan is really underwhelming and really bad, actually. And it's kind of only really something you'll see certain teams do. Like, there's certain teams that literally just play stacked and go crazy with Behemoth, Stasis Titan. But, like, at the end of the day, I just don't find it, to me, to be something that is very hard to counter. You pretty much just have to put on Wither Horde and play for your supers and play really slow, and you will win pretty much all the time unless they push you. But typically, and that's like at the high level. But considering like low level players and like all other levels besides high level, Stasis Titan, in my opinion, is very C tier. It maybe even D tier, honestly. But because it is good at a high level, but at times, I will grant it the C tier. But otherwise, it's absolutely horrible in my opinion. Like, it can sometimes be good at a high level, but it's not something you're typically going to see people run. Whereas I feel like Golden Gun gets ran more, and so does all of these other ones. They get picked way more. Anyway, moving on. I feel like I'm going to put Stasis Warlock. I don't feel like Stasis Warlock's better than Behemoth, so we're going to put that at C tier. I feel like Behemoth and Stasis Warlock are both very niche and can be really good in the right hands, but a big majority of the time, a lot of players that are going to be using these are very, very bad. And I just, like I said, I don't think Stasis Warlock is better. And I feel like it's a definite C tier for sure. Moving on, we're going to go to Void Warlock. I would honestly put that to B tier. I think Void Warlock and Golden Gun are probably in the same range of like, Void Warlock can be competitive and can be good. It's not the best right now, for sure. It honestly might even be the best Warlock subclass, potentially, in terms of, like, neutral game, but the supers are kind of underwhelming. Whereas, like, I think Dawn's Well of Radiance can be better, but that's the thing is Bubble completely beats out Well. Like, Bubble, all of these supers in S tier completely beat Dawn. Either Dawnblade or Well of Radiance. So that's why we're going to put Nova Bomb in B tier, because it has really good neutral game. Like, the Void Soul is super good. The Child of Old Gods is super good, and you know, it has a really good melee, and it's just an all-around pretty decent class. But so I'm gonna put it B tier with Golden Gun because I feel like both of those are decent. They're not like crazy right now, but they're decent. And then for Arcstrider, oh man, I feel like Arcstrider might be either C or B. I kind of want to put it C because competitively, it's, I don't know, it's pretty bad competitively. Like the super. You could hot swap to Raiju's Harness, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna put it C tier. Where Arcstrider is like decent, and I really like it. Typically, like it's my favorite class right now, especially with you being able to have blink and shotgun and stuff. But especially in high-end PvP, you're not gonna see anyone ever run Arcstrider. It's always going to be the S tier, typically, if they're good players and know what they're doing. So anyway, moving on to the last one, our final pick. And that is Stasis Hunter, and we are going to put that, I think, at B tier. I feel like this is a B tier, and I feel like generally this list that I've put together here is pretty accurate, in my opinion. I feel like you're typically going to see these top 3 in S tier, Void Hunter, Solar or Arc Titan and Void Titan, and then you'll probably see some guys on Dawnblade, and then you'll maybe see like a Blade Barrage or a Stasis Hunter. You might actually see more of this Arc subclass because it is paired really well with Dead Messenger, but ultimately I don't think this subclass is very good, and I think at a high end you're going to see more of what we have in the S, A, and B tier. So and by the way, the reason we're putting Stasis Hunter in B tier is because I actually feel it's pretty decent. The super is I think either a tier 3 or a tier 5, so it's pretty cool, or pretty quick cooldown. And the nades can be useful at times, and it's just a decent class. It's not overpowered, it's not like super crazy good, but it is very decent. So anyway, this is the tier list. Let me know if you guys agreed with my tier list and some of my thoughts and opinions on why these things are and aren't good. If you did, please make sure to let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy videos like this and want more videos like this, please let me know in the comments below as well, because I am looking for new ideas, and I could do tier list things like this because I obviously have a lot of insight to offer. Anyway, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.